Okay, so here we are on day 3. This was the last day I worked with him for the week, and it was Friday, and I was pretty darn tired. But I wanted to remain consistent, so definitely wanted to do 3 days in a row with him, and once again started out with grooming. I thought brushing his face might be a way to get into touching his face more, but he's very good at turning his head away. Here I'm using a soft brush, just trying to work my way towards the front of his face and let him know that this can feel good, but he's pretty suspicious. And then we have a little bit of success. So I mentioned on the video from the day before that he tried to strike on me on day 3, and that was it right there. So it wasn't really a strike. It was more like a let me shove you out of the way with my foot. So I didn't make a giant correction, but I definitely made a correction and got a reaction. I was definitely pleased how I could go right to his face and get some good rubbing in right away at the beginning of this session. I went back to my technique of going over his poll and then down his face and using the fact that he liked the base of his ears rubbed to get there. He was a little bit pushy on this day, but I didn't want to really push him away. I did want to invite him to allow his face to be close to me and for that to be comfortable with him. So I was constantly aware that I was finding this balance between him not being pushy and rude and me allowing him to let his face be on me and for him to be comfortable with that. I was really happy with this. He was putting his nose in towards me as I put my hand over his poll, and that's the kind of position you want when you put a halter or bridle on, so I was trying to monopolize on that behavior. So then I actually tried to guide his head to me a couple times and increase the amount of time that I held my hand on his nose, and I was pretty happy with that. I took that as a sign to bring the halter back into the picture and see how he dealt with it. The halter was definitely a trigger to him in the past. Anytime I would have the halter, he would absolutely mentally disengage and check out and try to find a place to get away from me. So I was going to approach this in a playful, fairly non-pressure type of way to see where I got. I knew that a ton of approach and retreat was really important at this stage. I could feel him starting to get a little defensive, and I knew that I was getting a little greedy about the idea of putting the halter on, so I knew it was time to walk away. I decided to move to rubbing him all over his body with the halter in my hand, since the halter was a trigger and it was making him a little jumpy, just me having it. Now that I had him re-engaged, I felt like it was time to toss the halter aside because it was causing some nervousness that I didn't want, and I didn't want to end on a bad note with the halter. But this was good because he let me stand by his side and rub the opposite side of his face and head, which is great because that is a more confining feel for him. And here he's really letting me get in close and put my arms around him and not feeling as trapped as he used to feel. Once I had him re-engage with me again, I decided to switch what we were working on, which was picking up his feet. It is something that he's decent at, but he was defensive. So I thought changing tacks and working on that would put his mind off of me trying to grab a hold of his head or any thought of me trying to control his head. And that is where we decided to end for the week.